By simplifying filing procedures, rationalizing rates, and reducing compliance burdens, the reforms signal a decisive shift towards making GST genuinely business friendly. The government has clearly outlined that these are not merely changes in tax slabs or compliance deadlines, they are about reimagining the way GST interacts with the everyday lives of people. Namaskar friends, myself Deepak Kumar Rath. I welcome you all to the digital media of Uday India, and today in Bhartiyata Ka Sankhanath, I want to speak about the new GST reforms. How it is aging life, how it is empowering or how it will empower our business. The new announcement of next-generation GST reforms by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his Independence Day address, followed by their approval by the GST Council, marks a critical turning point in India's economic journey. The goods and service tax, since its inception, has been described as the most significant indirect tax reform in India's history. However, like any transformative change, it has faced challenges in implementation, compliance, and perception. With the new reforms, the government has clearly demonstrated that it is willing to evolve the system, learn from the ground realities, and ensure that GST becomes not just a tax mechanism but a true enabler of growth, fairness, and efficiency in the economy. And one of the most remarkable aspects of these reforms is their multi-sectoral focus. For long, industries and businesses, particularly in the small and medium category, they have struggled with complex compliance requirements and ambiguities in the interpretation. By simplifying filing procedures, rationalizing rates, and reducing compliance burdens, the reforms signal a decisive shift towards making GST genuinely business friendly. This has the potential to free up enormous time and resources for enterprises, allowing them to focus on innovation, expansion, and job creation instead of paperwork and litigation. For the startup ecosystem, which thrives on agility and speed, such as reforms can be the difference between stagnation and exponential growth. Equally important is the multi-thematic thrust of the reforms. The government has clearly outlined that these are not merely changes in tax slabs or compliance deadlines, they are about reimagining the way GST interacts with the everyday lives of people. For an ordinary citizen, lower indirect tax burdens in essential sectors translate into direct savings. This means greater purchasing power for households, a boost to consumption, and more vibrant domestic market for businesses. Like the reduced compliances, costs, and rationalized structures mean greater competitiveness both in local and global markets. In a world where global supply chains are being reconfigured and the nations are competing for investment, such reforms precisely what India needs to consolidate its position as a manufacturing and services hub. Moreover, the reform carries a powerful potential message that governance is not about sticking rigidity to old templates, but about responding dynamically to the needs of the people. GST in its earlier form had sometimes been criticized as too complex or one size fits all. With the new generation reforms, the government has effectively acknowledged those concerns and taken corrective measures. This adaptability enhances trust not among the citizens but among the investors who value stability coupled with responsiveness in a regulatory regime. Another game-changing dimension of the reforms lies in the technological advancements being integrated into the GST framework. With increasing reliance on AI-based compliance tools, data analytics for fraud detection, and seamless integration of digital platforms, the reforms signal the creation of a smarter, faster, and more transparent system. This not only curbs tax evasion, but also fosters a level playing field where honest taxpayers do not feel disadvantaged. Such a move enhances the credibility of the system, and when credibility is high, compliance naturally increases without coercion. The reforms must also be seen in the large context of India's economic ambitions as the nation aspires to become $5 trillion economy and a global manufacturing hub. It cannot just afford to be burdened by outdated or cumbersome tax structures. The new GST measures remove bottlenecks, strengthen internal trade, and align India with global best practices by reducing cascading effects of taxation and ensuring smoother interest rate transactions. The reforms bolster the vision of one nation, one tax, one market, a vision that can transform India into an integrated economic powerhouse. So, in essence, these next generation GST reforms represent more than just fiscal adjustments. They reflect a paradigm shift in governance. They highlight the government's commitment to ensuring that taxation is not a hurdle but a facilitator of growth, inclusion, and innovation. If implemented with the same vigor with which they have been announced, these reforms will indeed become a game changer, laying the foundation for a more robust, transparent, and citizen-centric economic future for India. That's all for today. Stay tuned with Uday India and subscribe to Uday India. Thank you.